Jason Walker, Walker Tea Review, where it is Christmas in July. Well, it's almost always like Christmas around here. You know, you get a nice little package. You're wondering what's inside, what's it going to be like. Teas are kind of like that. They like to surprise you sometimes, and then once in a while you get that, oh, it's one of those kind, and you have to back yourself out of that situation, extract yourself from that situation as well. We're going to find out what kind of surprise, or if we do have a surprise for us today. This is a Chinese oolong tea. This is a WuyiDaHongPao, which is it's becoming a more prominent type of tea on the market. A lot of companies are offering something like a WuyiDaHongPao, or sometimes known by the English name, the translation, Big Red Robe. So let's go ahead and talk about this tea to really, discover what this present is, what this gift is all about here. We are going to be using a gaiwan, which is a traditional Chinese style of steeping, an instrument here that can be used in a couple of different ways. One, the traditional way was often to place your tea in and drink, angle or hold your lid back a little bit, maybe even if there are leaves floating on top of the water, push those away, and then you were able to sip from the cup. Okay. What we're going to be doing though is actually pouring into the pitcher here so we can talk about and look at the liquor. So let's go ahead and get this started. This is about a 4-ounce gaiwan. I've got a smallish size tin here. So just to kind of give a point of reference, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start it this way. I'm going to you don't always need a spoon. It can be helpful in the beginning, but with a gaiwan, what you often end up doing is covering the bottom surface of your gaiwan, plus a little bit more. And that can be, with me, it's going to end up being about a pinch more. I'm losing a few leaves, but that's okay. I'm just picking them up and tossing them in. It's a pretty loose, wiry type of leaf, so I do want to get plenty in there, and go ahead and toss that in. Now, when I look at that, that looks pretty good. If I were to try to scoop that in my spoon, as you see, that's going to be a pretty hefty, full type of spoon with just a few leaves left over inside, enough that you could pick up with just the tips of your fingers, not a lot. So it's about I would say about 2 full-size, good, regular, flat teaspoons here. So we're going to put that back in. Water's been brought to a boil. It's been cooling here as I've been talking. So it's still going to be hot enough. I tend to not go to a full boil with my teas. Okay, let me set that back down. One of the things that I'm noticing here, and one of the ways to use this particular tool, this gaiwan, you may have a little bit of foam, a little bit of bubbles resting on the top of your water. And with the gaiwan, you can kind of skim the surface of that. Some of your, especially your Chinese style tea servers, will actually want to skim that off. They consider it undesirable to have that. And it's a natural product of the tea, but you do want to kind of skim that off if you like. You can also use the lid, kind of push those leaves around, agitate them. But I want to rest that lid on top. There was enough water actually that rose above the rim of the lid and is sitting there between the rim of the bowl and the lid, so I've got a seal there. The water's created an airtight seal. I'm going to keep that seal intact by carefully moving that over so that we can talk about this tea. As we said, this is a WuyiDaHongPao. WuyiDaHongPaos come from the Wuyi mountain area of Fujian province, which this one does, and it is called the WuyiDaHongPao. This is from Adagio Teas. You can find a sample size like this one for $9 on Adagio's website. You can click just below this video. There's a timeline. There's a little dot there. You can find that there. You also find a red button that says buy this tea. Click on that. It'll take you right there for more information. Let's go ahead and talk about this dry leaf though. Of course, when we do that, we want to smell it first. I'm going to shake this up a little bit. I'm going to breathe in a little bit of steamy air to wake these leaves up a little. Okay. I was doing all that. One reason was because this one doesn't have the most pronounced aroma coming off of this leaf. Okay, and that can be a factor of temperature, of exterior factors in the actual room that I'm in right now, or the tea itself. What we often find, or what I often find with a WuyiDaHongPao like this, nice roasted. So you got a kind of a like a heated caramel type smell, or you may have something that you associate with a Cheerio type of smell. Sometimes a little, even veering over toward like a honey roasted peanut, so nice heat type toasted notes. This one is very light on those. They're also, I'm getting something very light, something faint. There's a bit of like something almost a little peachy about this. But it's very, I caught it for a brief instant and then it was gone. I'm not able to really draw that out. Yeah, if you breathe some warm air in there, perhaps get this in a more humid, warm, steamy type of air, you might get that kind of smell as well. Very light or lighter. You have to tease that out. Okay, these leaves themselves, let me get out a few, just place them here in my hand. These are usually more mature leaves, so you're talking about bigger pieces. They will often be wrapped or kind of crumpled. This is the main vein of the plant. They kind of get crinkled down the length of that middle vein of the leaf, I should say, not the plant. You'll get various sizes here. You've got half an inch. You've got around an inch here. You can get larger than that. You can get crumples that are curled over like this one is. You're getting dark. What's my word here? You're getting some kind of deep, not really russet, but you're getting a nice gray brown type of color here. And I'm also making note of the sheen on these leaves. Are they glossy? Are they bright looking? That can give an indication or suggestion of how much tea oils are in these. Have they been? Have those oils been preserved or locked in, or are they gonna? If they're duller, flatter, indicating they have those oils, those aromatic compounds, may have dissipated. Okay, and I would say these do not. These have a very faint, light sheen, but no, these have not been. They have not gone through the the most luxurious of processing to lock in maximum amounts, or I should say, these leaves did not have the fullest, the greatest component of oil, aromatic oils, compounds in them to begin with. So it's either or with that. Okay, we talked about our dry leaf. We're going to go on to our wet leaf now. And the great thing about that water is that it began to seep down as it cooled. It's expanded, now it's cooled down, it's drawn back in, and you're ended up breaking that seal. Okay, I can kind of push these leaves around and see that the water on top of your gaiwan is thinner, lighter looking, but deeper down below. It is more intense, richer in color. So I think we're ready to pour now. I've got my pitcher here. I've got my lid angled over to the side. I'm going to hold the bowl with the middle finger and thumb, ring finger on the back to kind of give a little support as well. A nice good opening there, so we get a nice smooth quick pour, which is what we have. Shake out those last few drops. Those are going to be the dainty, the doozies, the nice ones. Okay, so those are in there now. Okay, we'll talk about that color in just a moment, because I do think that's worth noting. But let's talk about these wet leaves for a moment. DaHongPao again often has some rich roasted type notes to it, and those are again like a Cheerio, perhaps a roasted peanut, those type of notes. This one, on the other hand, the aroma is really giving off almost a bit of a kind of a citrusy or a bit of a tangy fruit, something between an orange and a peach, somewhere in there. What is it, a pawpaw, or the Chinese peepaw? That's coming to mind right now. These are aromas I associate more with some of your Guangdong, which would be further south in China. Your Guangdong dansongs, a single grove is sometimes the way that's translated. So this one is a little bit of a surprise to me on that aspect. Well, let's talk about these leaves for a moment. Okay, opening them up, these actually have a bit of a greenish, still have a bit of olive drab green to them. Trying to gently pull this one apart so that you can actually see. You're getting a bit of a reddish color on the edges of this leaf. This one actually, because it's not opening up that easily, you're likely to get another steep, at least one more steep out of this. So that offers, kind of consistency across steepings there. But you've got some rust here, some nice kind of a reddish brown there on the edges, seeping down towards the middle of the leaf as well. Okay, and that looks more like oxidation than roasting effects there. Here's another. Again, still that same olive drab type, faint olive drab type of color there, with the reddish aspect as well. Okay, not a lot of elasticity. I just kind of pulled that one apart. Okay, rather easily. So I'll set that leaf there as well. And again, this is a greener DaHongPao than some of the others, than many of the others I've seen. Looks like it's lighter on the firing aspect here. Okay, so let's set that aside. Now we can go on to talk a little bit about our liquor. So let's give that a shot. Get that over to the side so you can look. We've got that's more of an orange color, and again, that's a brighter, orange amber type note to that. Okay. Now some of that kind of Cheerio type note is coming out in the liquor here. A little bit light toasted, but that tangy, like I said, that tangy citrusy peach aspect is in the background, and it has a watered down type of aspect to it. Okay, let's give this a shot. I gotta do this one more. Again, I'm getting more of a kind of a dansong feel about this one. The rich roasted element is not that pronounced in this one. As it fades towards the back of the mouth, the taste does inch towards that watered down or very thin, light peach juice type notes. Again, that's light though. If there's any astringency, it really hits on the sides of the tongue more so than the front or the full mouth feel. It didn't really have an intense broth to it or mouth feel to it. Aftertaste, especially now that it's cooling, does have a little bit of a you know, a few. If you took a slice of orange and just dropped in a couple of drops of, especially like a mandarin orange, something like that, really I think describes what you're getting here. Aftertaste does pick up a little bit of the roasted type note, but what you're getting in the back, and especially on the back sides here, and the sides and under part of your tongue, is a little bit of that kind of citrusy type of zing or tanginess to it. Not the mouthfeel really drops off pretty quickly. The aftertaste relatively brief in comparison with a WuyiDaHongPao. So, looking at this tea as a whole, it is called a WuyiDaHongPao. I got more Dansong characteristics out of it. And again, Dansong is from Guangdong, a separate province, different location with its characteristics involved with that. So, does this tea have you know, charm or quality to it? Yes. Does it have WuyiDaHongPao charm or characteristics to it? Not so much. So when I put that together, I got to give this tea an 84, just because if you were coming into a WuyiDaHongPao and you said, I want to know what a WuyiDaHongPao is, this would not be an accurate introduction to that. Okay, so come back, join us next time, because like we said, we open this present to find out what's inside. To find out, you know, is this a keeper or do you want to return it? Next time we're going to be looking at a dongding, which is a oolong from Taiwan, and that's here with us at Walker Tea Review.